All right, get ready, because today we're diving deep
Ooh, I love deep dives.
into the world of personal transformation.
Yes.
Specifically, we're going to be looking at how to break free from those negative patterns
Yeah, we all have
that
those.
we all know too well and create a life
Right.
that's just bursting with success and abundance.
I love it.
And to guide us on this journey, we have this really insightful conversation
Okay.
between Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Oh, I love Dr. Joe.
the neuroscientist and author,
Mm-hmm.
and Jay Shetty,
Oh, wow. What a combo.
the former monk turned motivational speaker.
That's going to be good.
Absolutely. And they jump right into some intriguing questions right from the get-go.
Like what?
Can we actually brainwash ourselves for success?
Interesting.
Is it even possible to rewire our brains to achieve those big, audacious goals?
That would be amazing.
Right. I mean, if that's even remotely possible,
Sign me up.
I'm in, right?
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Dispenza dives right in and emphasizes the power of our thoughts.
It all starts there, right?
It really does.
Yeah.
He talks about this intricate web that connects our thoughts
Okay.
to the choices that we make, the behaviors that we exhibit, the experiences that we have,
Right.
and even our emotions.
It's all connected.
It really is. It's like a domino effect
Yeah.
where everything influences everything else.
It's true.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
He points out that, like most of us,
Yeah.
we're kind of stuck on autopilot,
I know that feeling.
just replaying the same thoughts day after day.
Yeah.
In fact, he says 90%
Wow.
of our thoughts are identical to the day before.
That's crazy.
It's mind-blowing, right?
It is.
So if our thoughts are so repetitive,
Yeah.
it's really no surprise that we just keep making the same choices,
Right.
exhibiting the same behaviors,
Yeah.
and ultimately reliving the same experiences and emotions.
It's like we're trapped in a loop.
Totally. It's like a self-created time loop.
Yeah.
So how do we break free?
That's the big question.
How do we escape this cycle of repetition?
I'm ready to find out.
Me too. Well, both Dr. Dispenza and Jay Shetty,
Oh.
they really stress the importance of becoming aware of those unconscious patterns.
Yeah. Shining a light on those, right?
Exactly. It's about shining a light on those ingrained thoughts and behaviors that are kind of running the show behind the scenes.
Yeah, the stuff we don't even realize is happening.
Right. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
They zero in on the importance of understanding the emotions
Okay.
that are keeping us tethered to the past.
The past can really hold us back.
It really can.
Yeah.
You see, past experiences, especially those that have like a really strong emotional charge,
Right.
those have this uncanny ability to shape our present reality.
It's true. We carry that with us.
Like we're carrying around this invisible baggage from our past
Yeah.
that's just weighing us down without us even realizing it.
It's so heavy sometimes.
It is. It's like our brain creates these super highways of neural pathways
Okay.
based on our experience.
Right.
And those pathways become our default mode of operation.
It's like a well-worn path in the woods.
Exactly. And that's why breaking free can be so challenging.
Yeah, you get stuck in a rut.
You do. And Dr. Dispenza, he highlights that it requires us to consciously step outside of our comfort zone,
Which is hard.
which could be super uncomfortable. And he uses this analogy
More analogies.
of the body becoming the mind.
Okay.
He explains how those physical habits and routines that we've built, they actually end up dictating our thoughts and behaviors.
So like those late night snacking habits
Yes,
are
right.
actually reinforcing negative thought patterns.
It's all connected.
Wow.
And those deeply ingrained habits, that becomes our comfort zone,
Right, even if they aren't serving us.
even if they're not serving us.
It's crazy.
It really is.
But wait, if it's all about stepping outside of our comfort zone, wouldn't that like naturally create discomfort?
You're hitting on a key point.
Okay.
Dr. Dispenza acknowledges that discomfort and uncertainty are inevitable
Right.
when we're trying to break free and step into that new version of ourselves.
It's scary.
It can be. He even points out that our fear of the unknown is often what drives us right back
Oh, yeah.
into the arms of those familiar, even if negative patterns.
Like our brains prefer the devil they know.
In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our brains are wired for survival
Right.
and they're constantly scanning for threats.
Makes sense.
So when we encounter something new
Yeah.
or unfamiliar, our brain interprets it as a potential threat.
Oh.
And it triggers those fight or flight responses.
So that explains why change can feel so difficult.
It's our biology working against us.
Wow.
So how do we combat that primal fear?
Yeah, how do we override that?
How do we override our brain's natural tendency to cling to the familiar? even when it's not serving us.
It's a tough one.
That's where mindfulness and self-awareness come into play.
Oh, I love those.
Both Dr. Dispenza and Jay Shetty highlight the need to observe our thoughts, our actions, and our feelings without judgment.
It's not about ignoring them.
Not at all. It's about becoming aware of them.
Yeah.
Think of it like you're becoming the observer of your own mind,
Okay.
the silent witness to the constant chatter.
I like that.
So you're taking a step back from the drama
Yeah.
and chaos of our thoughts and just watching them unfold without getting swept away by them.
It's like watching a movie.
Exactly.
It's
It's your own mind.
And when you develop this awareness,
Yeah.
you can start to recognize those unconscious programs that are running the show.
Okay, so we're becoming aware of those patterns.
Yes.
What's next? How do we start to shift them?
Well, they talk about this power of self-regulation, which essentially means using tools and techniques
Right.
to manage those challenging emotions and stay present in the moment.
I like that.
Breathwork and visualization
Oh, yeah, those are good ones.
are two powerful examples that they mention.
I've heard of those, but sometimes I feel like I'm doing it wrong.
Well, you're not alone.
Okay. It takes practice
Yeah.
and patience.
Right.
And even then, there are going to be times when your mind wanders
Oh, yeah, for sure.
or you get distracted.
It happens.
The key is to just keep coming back to the practice,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
Okay.
Consistency is key.
I like that.
It's kind of like learning to play a musical instrument.
Yeah.
You don't expect to become a virtuoso overnight.
You got to practice.
Right. It takes time, dedication,
Yeah.
and a willingness to keep practicing even when you sound terrible.
It's true.
And just like with music,
Yeah.
the more you practice these techniques, the more skilled you become at managing those thoughts and emotions.
So we're retraining ourselves to respond differently
Yes.
to those triggers that used to send us spiraling.
That's a great way to put it.
I like that.
You're interrupting those automatic knee-jerk reactions and choosing a new path. You're becoming the architect of your own mind.
That's powerful.
It is. It's like a superhero origin story.
I love it.
We're not just managing our thoughts and emotions.
Yeah.
We're becoming masters of our own minds.
But there's still this part of me that's like, okay, but how do I actually become this new, improved version of myself?
Right.
How do I actually make lasting change?
Well, Dr. Dispenza has this fascinating concept called becoming someone else.
Becoming someone else.
He suggests that true personal transformation
Yeah.
requires a fundamental shift in our thinking,
Okay.
our acting,
Yeah.
and our feelings.
So it's like a complete overhaul.
It's like shedding an old skin
Wow.
and stepping into a new one.
That's a powerful image.
It is. It's about evolving beyond our current limitations and embracing a new identity,
Okay.
one that's aligned with the life that we want to create.
But how do we actually make that happen?
Right. It's a lot.
It is. It's our thoughts, our actions, our feelings.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Well, it requires consistent effort. And Dr. Dispenza talks about the power of visualization
Yes.
and emotional embodiment,
I've heard of that.
which essentially involves training our brains
All right.
to believe that our desired future is already a reality.
So we're not just daydreaming.
No, we're actively engaging our senses,
Okay.
our emotions, our entire being in this vision of our future selves.
It's like stepping into that future version of ourselves
Exactly.
and feeling the emotions as if it's already happening.
Yes. And the more we practice this,
Yeah.
the more those neural pathways in our brains start to rewire,
Okay.
making those new thoughts and feelings more familiar, more natural.
So it's like we're tricking our brains into believing.
It is. It's tricking our brains into believing that this future is already
Right.
real.
I like that.
And the more we practice, the more those neural pathways associated with that old limited version of ourselves,
Right.
they start to weaken,
Okay.
making it easier to step into that new empowered identity.
So we're actually changing our brains.
We're sculpting our own brains, our own reality.
This is blowing my mind.
It's powerful stuff.
But what about this void that Dr. Dispenza mentions?
Ah, the void. It's a powerful concept,
Okay.
and it can be a bit unsettling.
I'm intrigued.
He's talking about that transitional period where
Okay.
we've let go of the old self, but haven't fully stepped into the new.
So it's like this in-between space.
Exactly, this liminal realm
Okay.
where we're no longer who we were,
Right.
but not yet who we're becoming.
I can see how that would be disorienting.
Imagine a trapeze artist letting go of one swing
Okay.
before grabbing the next.
Yeah.
There's that moment of free fall,
Oh, wow.
That brief suspension in midair,
Right.
where they're neither here nor there.
So the void is like that moment of free fall.
Precisely. It can feel unsettling,
Yeah.
even scary, because it's unfamiliar,
Right.
but it's also a space of immense potential,
Okay.
because we're no longer bound by the limitations of our past.
We're free.
We're free to create something entirely new.
That's exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
But if that void can be so scary,
Yeah.
how do we navigate it?
How do we not run back to those old patterns?
How do we not run back to the familiarity of our old, comfortable patterns?
It's a great question.
Well, that leads us to another key concept.
Okay.
Jay Shetty brings up the idea of worthiness,
Worthiness.
suggesting that we often receive only what we believe we deserve.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
It is,
Okay.
and it ties in beautifully with Dr. Dispenza's explanation of the quantum field.
Okay.
He suggests that when we truly believe
Yeah.
that we're worthy of our desires,
Mm-hmm.
when we align our energy with our desired future,
Right.
we become a magnet for it.
Hold on. Are we talking about the law of attraction here?
In a way, yes, but it's more than just thinking positive thoughts.
Okay.
It's about aligning our entire being, our
Yeah.
thoughts, our emotions, our actions,
Hmm.
with what we want to create.
So if we're harboring deep down beliefs that we're not worthy of success or abundance or happiness,
Mhm.
we're actually repelling those things from our lives.
Exactly. It's like having this invisible force field around us
Oh,
that's blocking those good things from coming in.
That's a scary thought.
It is. It's a lot to process.
It is.
I feel like I'm starting to see the world through a whole new lens.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
But there's one thing that keeps nagging at me.
What's that?
What about those times when we're
Yes.
putting in the work?
Mm.
We're visualizing.
Yeah.
We're aligning our energy,
Yeah,
but we're still not seeing the results.
that's
It
frustrating.
can be easy to get discouraged,
For sure.
to feel like we're doing something wrong.
Totally.
I hear you.
So what do we do then?
And both Dr. Dispenza and Jay Shetty acknowledge that frustration.
Okay.
They emphasize the importance of persistence
Right.
and practice.
Gotta keep going.
It's not about reaching a finish line,
Okay.
about embracing the journey of personal growth and transformation
I like
as a lifelong endeavor.
Yeah, it's not a quick fix.
It's like learning any new skill.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time,
Right.
dedication,
Yeah.
and a willingness to keep practicing, even when you're not seeing immediate progress.
Exactly. They both point out
Mhm.
that personal transformation is not a quick fix
It's not.
or a magic bullet.
It requires consistent effort,
Mhm.
a willingness to show up even when it's challenging.
Right. It's about building those mental muscles.
Yes.
Strengthening our capacity for self-awareness,
Yes.
mindfulness,
Yes.
and emotional regulation.
It's a journey.
It is.
I like the idea of embracing the journey,
Yeah.
the ups and downs.
The twists and turns.
It makes it feel less daunting somehow.
Definitely.
That's the spirit, and I love how both speakers
Yeah.
emphasize the importance of finding joy in the process.
Joy in the journey.
Yes.
I like that.
They share anecdotes of people experiencing profound breakthroughs
Mm.
and transformations,
Mm.
but they always come back to the idea that the journey itself
Right.
is just as valuable
Okay.
as the destination.
So it's not just about achieving some end goal.
It's not.
It's about evolving and growing and becoming the best versions of ourselves along the way.
Absolutely. It's about embracing the messiness,
Yeah.
the imperfections,
Mhm.
and finding the beauty in the process of becoming.
I love that.
This is all so incredibly inspiring.
It is. It really is.
It feels like a whole new way of thinking about personal growth.
It does.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
We have so much more to cover.
What are some of those practical techniques that they recommend
Yeah, let's get into that.
for putting these concepts into action? I'm dying to know.
I'm ready. Let's do it. Well, get ready to roll up your sleeves because we're about to dive into the practical stuff.
Okay, let's do it.
Both Dr. Dispenza and Jay Shetty,
Yeah,
they emphasize meditation as a core technique for personal transformation,
meditation, okay.
but they're not talking about simply sitting in silence.
Right, and hoping for the best. They're talking about a very specific type of meditation
Okay.
that involves actively shifting your energy and focus.
So it's not about just like emptying your mind.
Not exactly.
Yeah.
Dr. Dispenza describes it as a process of detaching from those old thought patterns and emotional reactions that keep us stuck.
So it's not about suppressing or ignoring
Not at all.
those negative thoughts and feelings.
It's about acknowledging them,
Okay.
seeing them for what they are,
Yeah.
just thoughts, not facts,
Right.
and then consciously choosing to let them go.
Okay, so it's like hitting the reset button on our internal programming.
You got it.
I can dig that.
But how do we actually replace those old ingrained thoughts and feelings
Right, with new ones.
with new ones that are actually aligned with the future we want to create?
That part always trips me up.
That's where visualization comes in.
Visualization.
And again, we're not talking about simply daydreaming
Right.
or wishing for things to magically appear. But Dr. Dispenza talks about the power of fully embodying the emotions you would feel if your desired outcome were already a reality.
Okay.
He emphasizes engaging all of your senses,
Okay.
creating a vivid, multisensory experience in your mind.
So if I'm visualizing myself landing my dream job,
Right.
I shouldn't just picture myself sitting at a fancy desk.
Nope.
I need to feel the excitement,
Yes.
the sense of accomplishment,
Absolutely.
maybe even the weight of that impressive new business card in my hand.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's about stepping into that future version of yourself
Yeah.
and feeling the joy, the gratitude, the fulfillment as if it were already happening.
And when you do that consistently.
When you do that consistently,
Yeah.
you're essentially rewiring your brain to believe that this future
Okay.
is not only possible, but practically inevitable.
That's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
But, full transparency here.
Okay.
I've tried meditation before,
Mm-hmm.
and my mind tends to wander all over the place.
It's like a wild monkey
I know the feeling.
swinging from one thought to the next.
It's a common problem.
Do they have any tips
Do.
for people like me who struggle to quiet the mental chatter?
Both Dr. Dispenza and Jay Shetty, they acknowledge that developing a strong meditation practice takes time
Okay.
and patience.
Right.
They encourage beginners to start small,
Okay.
maybe just a few minutes each day,
Yeah.
and gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable.
Okay. That's reassuring.
It's like building any new habit.
Right.
Start small and gradually build up from there.
Exactly.
And don't beat yourself up if your mind wanders. Just gently guide your attention back to your breath or whatever your focal point is.
So meditation and visualization are key.
They are key components.
What other practical techniques do they recommend?
Well, they both talk about the power of gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay.
But again, they're not just talking about saying a quick thank you
Right.
before digging into dinner.
More than that.
They're talking about cultivating a deep, heartfelt appreciation for all the good in your life,
Mm-hmm.
even the small, seemingly insignificant things that
Yeah.
we often take for granted.
I love that.
It's powerful.
I've definitely noticed that when I'm focused on what I'm grateful for,
Yeah.
it's a lot harder to stay stuck in those negative thought patterns.
It shifts your perspective.
It does.
It's like gratitude creates this positive force field
Yes.
that repels negativity.
And Dr. Dispenza suggests
He does.
that a consistent gratitude practice can actually change your brain chemistry,
It can rewire your brain
rewire your brain.
to become more receptive to abundance and positive experiences.
So it's like we're priming our brains for success by focusing on the good stuff.
Exactly.
I like that a lot.
It's a powerful practice.
Are there any other techniques they delve into?
Jay Shetty brought up a really interesting point about the importance of setting clear intentions.
Intentions, okay.
He emphasizes the power of writing down your goals and aspirations.
As if they're already happening.
I've heard of that before.
It's a popular technique.
It's almost like creating a roadmap for your future self to follow.
Exactly.
But I have to be honest, sometimes it feels a bit silly. Like pretending.
But think about it this way.
Okay.
When you write down your intentions
Yeah.
in such a specific present tense way,
Mm-hmm.
you're sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind.
Okay.
It's no longer just a fleeting thought or a vague desire.
Right.
It's a clear declaration of what you're committed to creating.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like making a contract with yourself, a promise to take action and move toward those goals.
And there's something about the act of writing it down
There is.
that makes it feel more real, more tangible.
Solidifies it.
This is all starting to make so much sense.
It's all connected.
But I have a confession.
What's that?
They talk a lot about breaking free from the past.
Yeah.
But I still feel weighed down by certain experiences.
It's hard to let go sometimes. It is. Some of those memories, those old hurts,
Yeah.
they just feel so heavy,
I hear you.
so defining.
How do we actually release those things?
That's a great question.
That's a question a lot of people have.
It's tempting to just try to bury those painful memories.
Yeah, just pretend they didn't happen.
But Dr. Dispenza suggests a much more powerful approach.
Okay, I'm listening.
A technique he calls mental rehearsal.
Mental rehearsal.
That sounds interesting, but also a little intimidating.
It can be a challenging practice.
Does that involve revisiting those painful memories?
It does.
Because honestly, that sounds a bit terrifying.
I understand why you'd feel that way.
Yeah.
But here's the key.
Okay.
You're not revisiting those memories
Yeah.
to wallow in the pain or relive the trauma.
Okay.
You're revisiting them with the intention of rewriting the ending,
Rewriting the ending.
of changing the emotional charge associated with those experiences.
Wait, rewrite the ending?
Yes.
How is that even possible?
That's the beauty of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout our lives.
So our brains aren't fixed.
They're not fixed, they're constantly changing.
Okay.
Dr. Dispenza explains that when we consciously choose to revisit those memories with a new lens,
A lens.
a lens of compassion, forgiveness, and understanding,
Okay.
we can actually shift the emotional weight they carry.
So instead of reliving the anger,
Right.
the resentment, the hurt,
Yeah.
we're choosing to feel something different.
Yes.
Something more empowering.
It's like going back in time and giving your younger self a hug,
Okay.
offering words of comfort and support.
That's powerful.
It is powerful.
It's like we have the power to heal our own past
We do.
by changing our perspective on it.
Our perspective shapes our reality.
But I have to admit,
Yeah,
I'm a bit skeptical.
that's understandable.
Is there any scientific evidence
There is.
to support this idea of mental rehearsal
Yeah.
actually changing our brains?
There's a growing body of research showing that practices like mindfulness and meditation can actually change the structure and function of our brains.
So we're not just talking about some feel-good woo-woo concept here.
Not at all.
There's actual science backing this up.
There is scientific evidence to support these claims.
But when you combine that with the power of visualization and emotional embodiment,
Right.
you're essentially creating a potent cocktail for transformation.
It's a powerful combination.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
It's a lot to take in.
But I do have one lingering question.
What's that?
They talk a lot about the importance of persistence in practice.
Yeah, consistency is key.
But let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
We're human.
We are.
We're not perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
There will be times when we fall back
It happens.
into those old patterns, those old habits.
It's part of the process.
How do they suggest we deal with those inevitable setbacks?
They acknowledge that setbacks are a natural part of the process.
Okay.
They emphasize that personal transformation is not a linear journey. It's a winding path
Yeah.
with twists and turns, ups and downs.
Right.
There will be moments when you feel like you're making incredible progress.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be times when you feel like you're taking 2 steps back
Yeah.
for every 1 step forward.
So it's not about being perfect.
It's not about perfection.
It's about being persistent.
It's about progress, not perfection.
And they encourage people to view those setbacks,
Right.
those stumbles along the way,
Yeah.
as opportunities for growth, not failures.
It's a shift in perspective.
That's a much more empowering way to look at it.
It is.
So instead of beating ourselves up
Yeah.
when we slip up,
Right.
we can ask ourselves,
You can ask yourself.
okay, what could I learn from this?
Yeah.
How could I do things differently next time?
Exactly. They emphasize cultivating a sense of self-compassion
Mm-hmm.
and resilience,
Okay.
recognizing that we're all works in progress,
Right.
constantly evolving and becoming.
I love that.
It's a beautiful process.
This is also inspiring.
It's powerful stuff.
It's like a whole new way of thinking about personal growth.
It is a new way of thinking.
But I know we have to wrap up this part soon.
Okay.
Before we do,
Yeah,
can you recap some of the key takeaways we've
Okay.
covered so far?
absolutely. Let's do that.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive
I'm ready.
into personal transformation
I'm ready.
with Dr. Joe Dispenza and Jay Shetty.
This is the best part.
I know, I'm ready to have my mind blown wide open again.
Well, get ready because this last part gets really interesting.
Okay.
We're going to explore how these principles of personal transformation
Yeah,
can actually impact our physical reality, the world around us.
Okay, now we're talking.
This is where it gets really exciting.
This is where it gets juicy.
So how does changing our internal world actually translate to changes in our external world?
Right. It all sounds a bit like magic.
It does, doesn't it? But Dr. Dispenza breaks it down
Okay.
in a way that makes sense.
Okay.
He talks about the interconnectedness of everything in the universe. He suggests that when we shift our energy and
Yeah.
raise our consciousness,
Yeah.
we actually influence the quantum field around us.
Okay. I have to admit, that sounds a little woo-woo to me.
I know, it's a big concept.
Can you break it down in a way that even I can understand?
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Everything in the universe is made up of energy.
Okay.
Our thoughts, our emotions, even our beliefs,
Yeah.
all have a vibrational frequency.
Okay.
And according to quantum physics, energy can influence matter.
So you're saying that when we change our internal state,
Yeah,
we're essentially sending out new vibrations into the world.
we are.
And those vibrations can actually impact the people
Mm-hmm.
and events we attract into our lives.
That's the idea.
Wow.
Dr. Dispenza calls this process creating from the field.
Creating from the field.
It's about recognizing that we're not separate from the world around us.
We're all connected.
We're all part of this interconnected web of energy.
Okay, I'm starting to get at.
Good.
So instead of trying to force or manipulate things
Right.
in the physical world,
Yeah,
we're aligning our energy with what we desire
exactly.
and allowing those things to manifest organically.
It's about surrendering to a higher power,
Correct.
trusting that the universe has our back
Yeah,
and that things are unfolding as they should.
I like that. It takes the pressure off.
It does.
Trying to control everything.
We can't control everything.
But what about those times when things don't go according to plan?
Right.
Life can be so unpredictable.
It can.
Sometimes things happen that are completely out of our control.
That's true.
How do we reconcile those experiences
Yeah.
with this idea of creating our own reality?
You've hit on an important point.
Yeah.
Both Dr. Dispenza and Jay Shetty,
Yeah?
they acknowledge that challenges are an inevitable part of life.
Yeah.
They emphasize that personal transformation
Yeah.
is not about creating a perfect, problem-free existence.
Right.
It's about developing the inner strength and resilience
Okay.
to navigate the ups and downs, the twists and turns that life inevitably throws our way.
So it's less about avoiding challenges
Right.
and more about learning to ride the waves.
Exactly. They suggest that when we encounter those inevitable obstacles,
Mm-hmm.
instead of viewing them as setbacks,
Yeah.
we can choose to see them as opportunities for growth and learning.
It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger,
That's a great way to put it.
right?
They encourage people to embrace challenges as a chance to learn,
Yeah.
evolve, and become even more resilient.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between taking responsibility for our lives
Yeah,
and recognizing that we don't have control over everything.
you nailed it.
It's a tricky balance.
It is tricky balance.
But the more we practice these principles,
Mhm.
the more adept we become at navigating those nuances.
Absolutely.
This is all so incredibly empowering.
It is.
It feels like we're being given the keys
Yeah.
to create a life that's not only fulfilling for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
but also contributes to a more positive,
Right.
harmonious world.
That's the beautiful thing about personal transformation.
Yeah.
As we raise our own consciousness, as we
Mhm.
become more aware, more compassionate, more loving,
Yeah.
we inevitably raise the consciousness of those around us.
I love that it's like a chain reaction of positivity.
Exactly.
We inspire others to do the same
Mm-hmm.
simply by being the best versions of ourselves.
Precisely.
I do.
And that ripple effect can extend
Yeah.
far beyond our immediate circle,
Right.
creating a more positive and harmonious world for everyone.
Wow. This conversation has given me so much to think about.
I know, it's a lot to process.
I feel like I've been given a whole new toolkit
Yeah.
for creating the life I truly desire
You have all the tools you need.
and for making a positive impact on the world.
It starts with you.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I feel like my mind has been stretched, my heart has been opened,
That's beautiful.
and I'm walking away with a renewed sense of hope and possibility.
That's what it's all about.
Thank you for joining us
It's been a pleasure.
on this journey of exploration and discovery.
I've enjoyed it.
We hope this deep dive has inspired you to embark on your own path
Yes.
of personal transformation.
It's a journey worth taking.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep reaching for your highest potential.
Absolutely. See you next time.